done just for 1 hour. We're just going to the promo for just to take the photo and then proceed to meet them. Yeah, so we have a long way to. Where? No, the buses are just outside here. They will tell us where we are going. They know best what they want to show.
More or less.
Hopefully, yes.
City center, historical city center.
Historical city center. And of course about the Shroud and...
Sure.
Yeah, that's okay. So from here...
My name is Olivier. Pleased to meet you all. Welcome to Torino.
Nice to meet you. I'm Elena. I'm easy to recognize.
And I'm Giorgio. For me, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It's Giorgio.
Jojo. Yeah. We are starting the tourism right now to survey the city and all that. So stay tuned.
Cortoneco is more difficult.
So I don't think the church is open.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the church is open.
Well,
But it's easier.
yeah, but for Don Bosco, it's here, so maybe we can, those who want to see Don Bosco, please, not all of us. I know most of us don't want probably to meet, so we will go to the buses, and then we'll have one guide in each and every bus, so that at least from there, they can explain as we move around, and where we get to stop. We may have to take, we don't need to be all in one place. So one guide can go this direction, the other this direction, then we agree on what time to meet. So do not start looking for a neighbor from the other bus. Yes, so that we make things very easy. So we agree we are meeting at 12 at this point, so all groups will meet at that point so that we make it very easy. Tuko pamoja hapo? Now please, let's agree to keep time. Yeah, 12.
Alex.
So you need to go. 12.
Exactly 12 and 12, yes, 12 we need to go. Yeah, so we need to finish and agree the drivers where to meet all of us.
Alex, kindly kofia ile imechukua sandaka. Sijapata. Ile imechukua sandaka.
I think so I think tutaenda moja kwa moja. Excuse me.
Wale wanaokota sadaka, hata mkitumia kofia kuokota, kumbuke kuikusanya kwa ile kutoka kwa kanisa. Unajua sasa hiyo kofia imeachwa. Sasa unajua sisi tukitokea tunaziweka vile zipo. Ukikusanya ile kitu wanakupea official inaingia. Sababu hizo zinapatisha hiyo. Sometimes it's not coming. Maybe must be. Lakini ukitumia kofia weka hiyo official collection.
So I think please moja kwa moja twende kwa basi, wale wataka kuona hii watu wa Don Bosco I think kidogo wale tutaona we can just pass by there then we proceed.
No, giriamo a destra, a sinistra. Strada grossa. E questo and that is very it's always known as an industrial city. The population is more or less 900,000. Yeah, today, and that is not the highest point because in the past, during the 1970, 80, the population was 1,200,000. Very big city because we had the headquarters and many manufacturer of car industry. And of course you probably know Fiat, Fabbrica Italiana Automobili Torino. That is the acronym. And that was the reason why there was so many people in Turin. Yeah. Yep. And we are driving in one of the many avenues of Turin that was built
Right.
during the
Basilica.
centuries.
Right, yeah.
The reason of this avenue is to connect the surrounding with the center, but also we have to think that in the past the people were with horses, and so the horses during the summer have to be on the shade, so that they thought to build this big street with the trees planted, so that the horses could go along without suffering so much. The heat of the summer, and that is something that can be useful even today when the temperature are so hot like today and the day before. Here we are driving under a tunnel. Above the tunnel there is one of the biggest market in Turin, open market in Turin, and that is very typical for the people that live in Turin to come here and buy fruit, vegetable, fish, flour, whatever, clothes. And there is the market. It's open every day, probably not today because today is a very important national holiday. And it's open every morning until 2 o'clock, and then ready they go, and they are ready for the next day.
Roma San Carlo.
Here we are around the royal palace.
Royal Palace.
So where our dynasty, not only just for Piedmont, but in the past also became the most important dynasty in Italy, lived for 400 here. Now with this street we go straight in front of our most important river, that is Po, River Po. Yes, that is the most important. It's more or less 500 kilometers long. Begins with the Alps that are the border between Italy and France, and finished in the area of Venice. But along this street we have the opportunity to see also some other important monuments of Turin. One of that is this big tower on the right. That is Mole Antonelliana. Today is a beautiful cinema museum, but in the past the reason why it was built is that this building should be a synagogue, because in the surrounding there was a Hebrew community. But the building was never used as a synagogue, because the architect have modified the project so much, and each project was always expensive, so that the community told, okay, we stop, we don't need this synagogue anymore, it's too expensive, and was finished by the city of Turin and became a museum, historical museum. In just around 2000, it was changed to a cinema museum. Cinema, yes, because Turin is also famous because is where, together with the French, where began all this cinema production. Here on the right we have one university, literature university, language university, and that is the one building. Now we have another modern building on the other side. But it's also interesting to see this small, very small house at the corner on the left, because it's just a very small piece of building, and it's called by the inhabitants of Turin like a piece of polenta, because of the color that was painted. Polenta, you know, is this typical meal of Piedmont or Alps that have this very bright yellow color, and because of the color of this facade was given as a nickname piece of polenta. And it's very interesting also in the architectural point of view, because it's very tight and high, so that the architect was criticized because the people, the other architects, thought that couldn't stay. There was not so much stability. But they were wrong, because that is something that was built more or less 150 years ago. So that is still here. After earthquake, after storm, everything. So that was good. In front of us, when we finish, we are at the end of the street, we turn right, and we have the opportunity to see this river, the River Po. The River Po is around 500 kilometers, as I told before, and just in the last, or just where we are in the Lombardy, so much farther than here, is possible to go with a boat. Here is not possible because there is some dam. So that is not possible.
So this is the river Po. This is the river Po.
It's also here a beautiful view of the
river Po.
surrounding of Turin, We have over there another important building. It's a monastery, Capuchin monastery, and from there you have a beautiful view of the city. On the right, we have another big square. This is the Piazza Vittorio Emanuele. Yes. And it's one of the biggest in Europe. And from here begins one of the features of Turin. That means that we have also this arcade. The arcade are more or less 16 kilometers long, so that you can walk around Turin with all weather without having sun, snow, rain, whatever, because we have a deck. And this was also the father's expansion of Turin during the 17th century, because here we had the city wall, but later was destroyed and enlarged this beautiful baroque square. And today is a very important square where people is a meeting point for many people. And all around, as you can see, there are many coffee shop, restaurants, and everything for pleasure. Yeah. Okay. This arcade have also a feature that means that, for example, at this traffic light, you see that on the left side there is no deck, but there is something that covers the way on the right. Why that? Because on the right side was the walking area of the dynasty, the Savoy dynasty, so that they were protected by sun, by rain, by snow. But on the other side, that was just a pedestrian area for the inhabitants of Turin. That was something that doesn't matter if they had something to protect their head or not. So that is one of the features of this street. The other is that we have a different. It's not on the same level from the beginning to the end. It's more or less, there is a more or less a difference of 10 meters from the beginning that is there. In front of us there is this huge building that is Palazzo Madama, and the end where we came in this square. There is more or less 10 meters difference. On the right, now where there are all these flags, there is the university, the seat of the university, literature, language, philosophy, literature.
What is the name of the university? Turin University.
At the corner of the left side, there is this coffee shop. It's a very old, because it was founded at the end of the 18th century. And today is very famous for ice cream and chocolate. Chocolate is also another important element for Turin. That was chocolate was I could say, invented or produced by the cookers of the Savoy, and that is something that made and makes Turin so famous.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. The tour of Turin. Even that flag should be, our Kenyan flag should be there as well. So we are also here.
This is a university or what is it?
University
For
of-
language.
For language,
Those who do
literature, philosophy. Alisema hizo. Oh, you are being taken photo. I'm here in Turin. Hey. Guys, I'm here in Turin. Turin. And this is a university. Provinciale. Province di Torino. Provincia di Torino. Yeah. So things are here. Wow. That's another group of ours. That lady is interesting. Wow. So this is like a stage where they converge here. Tram. Wow. Oh.
Don't find yourself following other masses. So you will follow me, and after you reach chapter by 12, back to the last house. And I think most shops are close to them.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll explain a few features and all that, and we'll be back.
And of course, the main point will be go to the cathedral, and then we will come back to Palazzo. Okay.
There's another cathedral. So we follow him.
Kuna watu wamekaa kwa basi, watashuka waanze kuzunguka, tutabaki tukiwatafuta. Na wamekaa chini sana. Sasa unajua watashuka
called
There are so many seated. Let them just go.
because was one that was built during the time of the dynasty, of the Savoy dynasty. Their palace is just on that side, and we will have the opportunity to see from outside, of course, this palace where they lived for more or less 400 years. Yes. Something about this building, as I told you, is the Royal Theatre. It's we can say that have two souls because we have this facade that is old, that is about middle 18th century, but we have also a modern side that is where there is the performing of opera, concert, and everything about that. Why that? Because unfortunately during the time was destroyed by a fire, and just more or less 50 years ago was built again. And was built with a modern structure and not anymore with bricks, with this system. So that if you look at the first time, it looks like this building like a supermarket and not like an opera, as normally is seen, because it's more with steel, with cement, with glass, and everything that was fashioned during that time. We have more or less 2,000. We can have more or less 2,000 people inside, and it's just the only one theater because under the floor there is another theater, another that is smaller. In fact, it's called Piccolo Regio, small Regio. Today we have also this poster that shows all the opera ballet that are during the season, during the year, and it's very, very famous. Of course, when in Italy you think about the theatre in Milan, La Scala, but this one is not so bad. In fact, many people are coming also from France, because France is not far from here, it's around 2 hours, so that they can come here, have the opportunity to have a look at this opera, and then or stay overnight or come back, go back home. Sorry? Yeah, that is the Romeo and Juliet. That we will
Romeo and Juliet,
one of the latest, because it's
This where it all started.
and then all these posters
Romeo
shows the different opera or ballet that are performing during the day.
Today, Romeo and Juliet are performing.
They are performing.
Imagine.
So they are performing.
Romeo and Juliet are
They are performing today. Kwani wanakuwaga live. Wanakuwaga live bado.
kidogo.
Haijafika.
Hawajafika sasa hivi wako which man?
This country, ama Ethiopia.
This country.
This country is kama yetu tu.
Mimi nasikia anasema hajafika.
Ni Ethiopia. Ndio. Ati hapa? Unless the date for performing. Kai, nimeshtuka. Nimeshtuka. Sikuwa nimeona tu gari nakuja. Things are here. The shops are open. Yeah. Kwani si wamefungua? Si wamefungua hizi? I can. The shops are open. You can do your shoes. Yeah. Na iko 50% discount. The shoes. Imeandikwa 99 euros. Sasa sio itakuwa 45 ama 47.5. Where? Their shops are open. Wow.
In the center, of course, in Turin, that is a gallery. That is the so-called Subalpina Gallery. The name came from the bank who paid to build all this gallery. And the style is something that reminds Paris. And was also a new way of building. Because, of course, was not anymore in the facade just bricks, but marble. And
marble.
The other important thing is that, you see, the roof is not anymore covered, but it looks like open because it's covered with glass. So that it looks like to be outside. And it's also interesting because it was a way to go through from the royal palace to the parliament in the 19th century. And of course, we have also here some historical coffee shop. Here we have Barazzi e Milano. The other one is there where we go along. And these are also very famous for their product because one of the products is a chocolatey, is a small piece of chocolate made. Turin have its own specialty that is made with hazelnuts and cacao. But there is also dark milk and other type of chocolate. And with chocolate we have also a beverage, the cioccolata con panna, that is with whipped cream. And there is also something different that is bicerin, that is a mix of coffee, chocolate, and milk, whipped milk. So that it's a very energetic beverage. Not for today because it's hot, but during the winter it's good. They do in every part of the year. If you go for a bicerin, they prepare even if there is 40 degrees, but it's considered for winter. And of course, here we have also this beautiful building that was used for offices, for something that in the past, that nowadays, as you see, is not anymore used. Important also this cinema, because it was one of the first cinema in which was projected this short film during the end and the beginning of the 20th century.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
That coffee.
Yeah.
Is it from cappuccino?
Yes.
What's the name of that special?
This specialty is called bicerin because it's a Piemontese name that means small glass. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Bicerin.
Built of marble. For sure it is. Built of marble, for sure. Hey. No, very little. Little this one, very little. We need shopping. Via Toto. Via Toto. Alafu utanipika. Simu yangu ina receive messages. Hata mimi yangu ni kureceive. Turin. Most shops are closed, but most of them are closed, but we've seen one or two open. Yeah.
Another beautiful baroque square. That is one of the buildings that was the residential of a branch of the Savoy area. That is Palazzo Reale. Carmignano was a branch of the Savoy family. And here we have during in the middle of the 19th century the opportunity to see the parliament, because in the middle of the 19th century the different dynasties were unified in just one country. And here was the
This is
parliament of Italy, inside here. Where
first parliament of Italy, right inside here.
part of the building. And it's also interesting this square because over there, where you see this building with the flag, that is the most important museum, Egyptian museum after Cairo in the world. Yes, that is the famous Egyptian museum.
Egyptian
Yeah.
museum.
Is the first.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah,
Ooh, that one there.
It was the first in Europe that was thought as a place where to collect pieces from Egypt. That was something that was fashion during the time, but the Savoy was the one that thought to create Egyptian museum in this place. So that it is historical from this reason also. And today, this year, is celebrating 200 years of founding. So that it's already 200 years that we have this museum here in Turin. Here on the right, we have another theater called with the same name of the building, Carignano Theater, and then the restaurant. That is also a typical, very expensive because it's a star Michelin restaurant. So that means that more than 100 euro each person to pay to eat, but it's historical restaurant because we have the opportunity to remember that here was the place where the king and the staff have worked in order to unify our country. So that is also important for that reason. Okay? This one is also something new, I would say, because you see the name is Farmacia, so that is a pharmacy in the past. Today, it's another coffee shop. It's another place where you can enjoy coffee, chocolate, and small have a small break. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we have three, but it's not our primary.
So you are kings, you are Caesar.
No, the king the city of Turin was founded by the Romans, so there was Caesar, it was Augustus, but was 2,000 years ago. Here we have something different because here almost if we have time, we will see also for a few seconds something that was built by the Roman Empire. Many things. That is a very Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Yes, here we are in one of the most expensive shopping streets of Turin, and also one of the first streets that was built to enlarge Turin during the 17th century, because at the first time Turin was from just where begins the arcade, or where begins the street. In the 16th century, they decided to enlarge, and the city was enlarged till to the next square over there, where there are these two churches. And this was a new street called Via Nuova. Today it's called Via Roma. Via Roma. Yes, and begins from here and gets till to the end, where you can see this building that have a curved roof. That is one of our stations, Port Manolo. And it's more or less 1 kilometer long. And full of shops, very important offices and everything. And it's incredible that even if it's so long, more or less 1 kilometer, there is more or less just 20 persons who lives here.
20.
All around,
20.
More or less 20 or 30, they live just up on the upper side, where there is this beautiful roof garden with huge apartments and that is something interesting because so long, so beautiful, but not so many people.
Why? What's the reason?
The reason is because it became an office and shop for.
So what was the idea? There are so many.
Yeah, there are so many. They came from the, I would say, 50, 70, 1950, 1970, when Turin became so famous, and because of the industrial, many offices found here their place to have their headquarters or seats.
Wow. There's a name I want to
Yeah, that is the Royal Palace. We will
Oh, Royal Palace right there.
Real
Wow.
That is the name of one of our insurance.
That's a name. That's a name for
Yeah. Real Mutua. Which bank? Nitaweka kwa wall. Kama watakuwa wamedismantle wall, tazoweka zote. Taweka bila tuliingia yote. Lakini nimeshaweka bila tulikuwa huko Pilaji House. Nikaweka bila tulitoka Kenya. Tukakuja mpaka Lisbon.
We go through. Yeah.
Huku nayo is interesting.
Very interesting.
We stop here. Just a few seconds.
Magari. Hizi ziko kwa line.
And we have the opportunity to see these two special buildings. That means that are built during the 1930-40, during the time of this person that was Mussolini. Bonito.
We've heard of him.
Yes, him.
Mussolini.
And the style was something like that. That means that these two buildings looks like two big boats. This is a cruise. Looks like a cruise boat.
Yeah, it looks like a cruise ship.
A sail boat. And
It's called Real Mutua.
building, this tower that was one of the first skyscraper or higher building that was built here in Turin. But as we have the opportunity to see from the Royal Square, it's a very big contrast because there is a build all around is built with baroque style, so 1700s, and here we have something very modern that has nothing to do with the style of the square. But the right place to understand the architecture is to come here and look these two buildings.
Where? Real Mutua.
That is all mutual insurance.
Mutua bado yuko. Atidi old mutual insurance.
This is mutual.
Yeah, we wondered. But it's Mutua, by the way. It's Mutua. Even when we saw it, we said Kenyan has come here to invest. But it's old mutual. Yeah. Touring Turin. We are going back to where? It's very. Oh, look at this one. Where? Where? The designs here. Where? I mean, Turin, guys. Turin, look at those designs there.
Apartments or huge office. Each of these apartments is more or less 400 square meters, so that it's huge. And it's beautiful because I have a beautiful view of all the surrounding, and it's just renewed and made clear so that we have the opportunity to see really how it was built. We cross the street.
Ragazzi, assolutamente.
Hizi ndio zinaonekana Kenya, sio kupakana kwa matatu. Unaweka nini pia inapita. Yes.
Here we are in a very interesting place. Because we can hug all our history of Turin, because we have some of the most important buildings. Because over there we have the Royal Palace. Here we have the other palace that was used by the Savoy, and it's also interesting because from this side you have a baroque, because it was the residential part of the at the beginning was the other side that was built, and that is why this square is called Piazza Castello, Castle Square, because the beginning was a castle, the castle of the dynasty that came here. And then after that they built also the Royal Palace, used the Royal Palace, because at the beginning the Royal Palace was the bishop's seat. So that when they came, they used the bishop's seat as their own seat. And you see also this high tower, that is the Mole Antonelliana that I spoke before. That is the highest monument of Turin. It's around 167.
That highest one.
Centimeters. Over there. The one that I told you in the past that was the museum. That was built between the middle of the 19th century. The architect is Antonelliana, and that is why they called
Hey, what a fountain. Looking beautiful.
Even if it's not allowed, people go through to have some fresh water.
Okay. Ah. This pigeons.
Ormai Roger. Roger, don't you take something to eat? Okay.
CCTVs are very nice. What? Royal Palace. Wow. It's nice.
The reason why this palace today is known as Palazzo Madama, so Madam Palace, is because during the Baroque times, that 17th century, was the place where two of the wives of the Savoy family decided to live there. And the first...
This is a palace, this one here.
From the castle to the royal, to the Baroque palace.
But I can't hear what he's saying.
But the architect, that was Niccolo Ioala, didn't have time, so that what we have from that period is just this beautiful facade, very beautiful and Baroque style. All the other part of the project is missing because didn't have time to build. But that is the reason why today this building is called Palazzo Madama. And
Palazzo
into the end of the 18th century, this building was connected with the gallery with the other side of the aisle of this palace, that was the Savoy gallery. So that was linked the royal palace with the Palazzo Madama. We go because the sun is very hot.
Very hot, yeah. Hey, hey.
Occhiali 5 euro, vuoi?
5 euro.
Occhiali 5 euro, vuoi?
5 euro. 5 euro. 5 euro, eh. 5 euro, eh. Yeah, I was like, Kenyan is here. But I hear, 5 euro. 5 euro is kissy, right? 5 euro is kissy.
I wish we could understand.
Hey, this sun is too much. Where? Wow. Beautiful something in the center. Wow.
And also others that are coming from abroad, from other country or region of Italy. They don't think that Turin is so beautiful. They are surprised by the beauty of the city because, unfortunately, Turin is known just as a car industrial production city that is not even more now because Fiat doesn't have such a big importance role, but unfortunately is still there. It's still in the car industrial city. But you see, it is just a short walking how beautiful it is. And I'm staying here because we can see the court, inside court of the Savoy Palace. And there is one thing that I want to show you to think about. That means that if I didn't tell you that was the royal palace of this Savoy, probably you couldn't imagine because it's I would say plain building. It's not something that you can compare with the
Loyalty.
palace of the King of England or even more the dynasty of France, where everything is bright, is shining gold and everything. Here it looks like, of course, a big palace, a middle-class palace, but not the palace where a dynasty lived for 400 years. I'm staying here because also of this chapel, because inside of this chapel, till to the end of the 20th century, 1994, there was the Holy Shroud.
Chapel.
That is the Holy Shroud Chapel. And the Holy Shroud, as you know, was at the beginning, in the end of the Savoy, so that they had the opportunity to go inside of the Holy Chapel from their own palace. So that here, in this gallery, there is a huge portal that goes inside of this chapel. And from this chapel, you can go to the cathedral. That, in that time, today is not anymore possible. But it's interesting that today the Holy Shroud belongs to the Pope, so our church. But if you want to see the Holy Shroud, it's the only here in Turin possible to see. There is any other place. That was the contract that was signed between the church and the Savoy. And today, if you want to see the Royal Chapel, the Holy Shroud Chapel, you have to buy the tickets from the castle. It's not something that belongs to the church. That is still something that reminds what was in the past. And that is, and you can see this chapel so beautiful because probably you read that the chapel got on fire and was completely destroyed, but fortunately the roof and all these beautiful decoration were still alive and was screwed. It's in order that didn't collapse. And inside they took more or less 30 years to renew everything. And today we can see this beautiful chapel, 90% as was before. When this architect that was Guarini thought that was one of the many artists that worked for this chapel, but the one that always remembered that built this beautiful chapel. So that is also interesting to see from this side because there is this connection between the Savoy and the church itself. The only crowd today it's in Turin. It's not anymore in this chapel. It's in the cathedral. If we have the opportunity to go inside, there is on the left side, at the end of the left aisle. That is where it is protected, secured, and covered with a red towel. Because you cannot see because of security and also for temperature, humidity, and something like that is protected. But it's there. Yep.
Do you have an idea on how long the construction?
Yeah. Yeah. Here it began in the middle of the 16th century because the Savoy came here at middle of the 1572, 73, and what we can see now is the result of 400 years of changing. That means that each king, each person, each count of the Savoy decided more or less to enlarge, to change, to modify. And what is today, it's the result of all these modifications. And over there is also the garden, the royal garden, that was also one of the free spaces, green area for Turin that was used for the Savoy to walk to.
One question.
Yeah. No, unfortunately not.
So can we say that it has taken so many to build to have very beautiful structures? And us in Kenya, since independence, it's less than 100 years.
Yeah.
Do you think after 400 years it will be like this?
Good question.
But he doesn't know Kenya. Patriotism, love your country, oh. Love your country, oh. Love your country. Yeah, Aju.
There's the architecture.
Yeah.
Do you think of the friend who has
and he doesn't know Kenya.
It's only that
That's it. We should love our country.
that's another way. There's nothing to be fixed. We have done all the 60, so all is fine. You know, we call it defense mechanism. You have to look for something. Say, look, we are not badly off, you see.
No. I told you, he doesn't know Kenya. I'm going to ask him. And then we should be patriotic. We should love our country. We should sell it. It's not saying that we are so backward. No.
Why would you think? Why would you even come? And you know, this is really the mistake. There was a time when people go to discuss their own issues, just like coming from your home. And then
I come to your house and start
they are washing your dirty linen
in your house.
Well, we have our issues.
That is not right.
And those, in other words, what we do is steal ideas shamelessly.
And then you go and implement.
And we go and sort out.
That was not a wise.
Honestly, there is something we need the commitment
to change.
Yeah.
Turin. Torino. Then it's Turin. Hey. And it has so many, very little people. Then we should move here. I should tell them I've discovered the land. Discovered by Esther.
You never progress if you keep on checking how I am without borrowing
and going to.
But you don't say I'm better off, I'm this, but I see the best from you, see the best from others. and then move on. But the moment I keep on checking us with this competition, we lose it. Then it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take such a number of your grandfather took 12 years
To build.
like a Mapati house. It doesn't have to take you the same number of years to do that. You can do it within a short time.
Replaced from a very beautiful baroque palace that was destroyed during the war. First or Second War, and then during the 70s they decided to build something like that that has nothing to do with all this beautiful architecture. That is our cathedral. That is dedicated to Saint John Baptist. And what we can see today, it's just something that was built in the last year of the 15th century. Before that, there was 3 churches, one near the other. And the remaining part of that period that was around the 12th century is this bell tower.
Bell tower.
Behind, where now there is the royal palace, it was the cemetery of where people were
Buried.
buried. And of course for the monks, for the people that lived here. Came the Savoy, and the end of the 15th century, they decided to build this church and destroyed the other 2, and all we can say they built the church in the middle where there was the one of the 3 churches, and the other was destroyed. And the interesting part is that this is the facade reminds a facade that is in Florence. Because the architect was coming from there. And it's also interesting that the facade is the only one that is in Renaissance style. So that it's unique in Turin to see something like that. And it's a masterpiece of that style, and with this marble white facade. Unfortunately, inside there is a problem, and we cannot go inside, and also because it's time to go again to the buses. But just a few seconds, I want to show something from the Roman Empire that is just behind this brick.
It's cathedral.
I want to take you to
That is the Roman amphitheater. One of the many that in the empire was built, but that is what is still remaining from that time. So that this amphitheater has more or less 2,000 years. And it's something interesting because still today
Roman amphitheater, right
for
here.
dancing, for performance, for theater during, of course, summertime and not with so hot weather. But it's not exactly what was built, because during the time many of the statues, many of the marble pieces was stolen and used for other palaces and buildings, so on. So that is just the initial parts, the ground stone, we can say, of what was the amphitheater that was built by the Savoy, by the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago. Okay?
Okay.
Go to the bus.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's the end of the tour.
Thank you. We are now heading to Milan. Let us now meet in Milan.